There, so that way, if you miss anything or you don't have to write anything. All right. Do not ever use this. Are you one of the people who uses that?
Um, not really.
Good.
I mean,
PEMDAS,
I
I hate it with a passion because everybody who uses that always gets math wrong. It's good for elementary school, junior high, a little bit of high school, but not in college. I'm going to go through the whole rules here. There are only 3 steps, really. Order of operations. The first thing you do are the special operations. What do I mean by that? I mean like parentheses, brackets, absolute values, radicals, any size radicals, uh, exponents, factorials, and I mean there are over 400 different symbols you use in mathematics. So again, PEMDAS only does parentheses and exponents. What about the rest of this stuff? So you look at each one of these first. You do those first whenever you see them in an equation. Then you do multiplication and division, and then you do addition and subtraction. Mathematics is a language. It's like reading a book. So when you read a book, you read left to right. Mathematics the same way. You go left to right. Because mathematics is a language. If I put that on the board, what do you see?
uh, 3 plus 4.
Yeah, exactly. 3 plus 4. It's a sentence. Everything on mathematics is a sentence. So treat these the same way. So if I give you an equation like this, actually, what would you get? What would you do?
Well, you said to start from left to right,
Right.
so I
Are
would
there any
start.
special operations?
I mean, there's division and
Yeah. So there's
multiplication.
no special operations. So we go to the
Yeah.
next one. Yeah. So left to right. There's only multiplication division. So we do this first. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Every time you do a step, repeat. Are there any special operations? No. So go to the next one. Yep, here's a multiplication. That's the right answer. The reason I say that because I put this on my board at the beginning of each class that I teach face to face. People who use that PEMDAS thing, they do this first. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 divided by 6 is 1. That's wrong. Because
Okay.
multiplication and division are the same level, so you read left to right.
Right.
Okay, so that's the first part. That's the order of operations. Always read from left to right. Well, let's do an longer example. See if you get it right. Go ahead.
So the first thing we would do is the 4 plus 5, right? Because it's in the
Exactly,
parentheses.
because it's in parentheses.
Plus 3, 9. Um, would the next thing be to do 3 and 9? Because
Right.
isn't that
Because, yeah, you can't do anything inside there, so you do next is multiplication.
yeah.
3 times 9.
And then you would just add those together.
Yeah. Yeah, so can you guess what the most common mistake is with this problem?
Maybe not following the process correctly. I mean, people are gonna innately want to.
You see what the error was there?
Oh, right. If they choose to do that step first rather than
They
just ignoring.
exactly, instead of or operations, do inside the parentheses first, then multiplication. A lot of people for some reason want to do this first.
Yeah, because they look at it and they think it's easier.
Exactly. Let's do the easy stuff first. Okay, the next thing we're going to talk about are the properties of math. This tells us when and how we should do stuff and what we can do. The first thing we talk about is the commutative property of. Usually when there's a colon at the end, means there's a list. Commutative property of addition and the commutative property of multiplication. Commutative, to commute means to move. So this property deals with moving things around. So if we had X and Y are numbers, if we had two numbers and we put them down, we could move them around and they'll give us the same answer. 3 plus 4 is the same thing as 4 plus 3. They both equal 7. Same thing in multiplication. X times Y is the same thing as Y times X. 3 times 4 is the same thing as 4 times 3. They both equal 12. So far, so good?
Yes.
The second property is the associative property of addition and multiplication. To associate means to group. So X plus Y plus Z is equal to X plus Y plus Z. Looks pretty easy, but the problem is this. There's nothing in our known universe that can process more than 2 bits of information at any one time. You have 3 of them. So what you have to do is pick which 2 do I do first. That's where the parentheses come in. So if I, for example, 3 plus 4 plus 5 is the same thing as 3 plus 4 plus 5. Since I have 3 numbers, I pick the first 2. I put those, so I have to do those first. 3 plus 4 is 7. 7 plus 5 is 12. I'm going to do these 2. 4 plus 5 is 9. 9 plus 3 is 12. The same thing with multiplication. So the importance of this rule is if the signs are all the same, then we can pick whatever two numbers we can combine first. 3 times 4 is 12. 12 times 5 is what?
I'm not really sure, to be
Okay,
honest.
let's
Sorry.
try the other side. 4 times 5 is
20.
20 times 3.
I'm sorry, I don't really know that.
Yes, you 2 times 3 is what?
6?
Yep, with a 0 at the end.
6.
Same thing. So that means same thing here. 5 times 2 is 10. Carry the 1. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6. So this side is a little bit easier than this side. So it all depends on how you arrange the numbers and how you pick the numbers makes it either easier or harder. So we talked about moving and grouping. The third property is the most important one. This is the one you're going to be using most in math classes. It's called the distributive property. You notice there's no of here because this one combines both multiplication and addition. Here. You have a number in front, parenthesis, and an equation inside there. This number out in front is called a coefficient. A coefficient it's a number in front of anything. And inside there is just an equation. So what this says, this is multiplied. So what distributive says, whatever's out in front multiplies to each term inside there. So a times x is ax. Positive. A times y is ay. And there you go. That's distributive property. What the purpose of this is to get rid of the parentheses. Now, and I told you earlier that this is a very important rule because it can go both ways. If we go from this way to this way, it's called distributivity. If we go from this to this, it's called factoring.
So depending which way that you choose to solve it.
Yeah, and which way it's given to you. If I give it to you this way, what do they both have in common?
They both have a.
They both have an a. Since they both have an a in common, I pull it out. Whatever I have left goes inside the parentheses. For example, what do both of these have in common?
They both have letters.
Yes, and what else?
They both have 3 in them?
Yes, exactly. Because this is 3. This is made up of 3 times 3. So they both have a 3. I can take it out. So this 3 is gone, and one of these 3's is gone. So what do I have left? The x plus 3y. That's factoring.
Wow, didn't think of it that way.
And you can always check it. Multiply 3 times x, 3x. 3 times 3, 9y. That's how I always check it whenever you do that. So yeah, I mean, it goes on even further from that. We don't even need numbers. Can you factor anything out of here?
Wow, that's a lot. Why I see 3 X's, 2
Yeah.
Y's.
That's the only thing they have in common is an x.
Yeah.
I factor out the x. I just left with yz. I get rid of the x's. I have 2y. And there. So it doesn't matter how big it is or how small, it's the same process.
Right.
And that's how you simplify things. And then we have other rules, other properties that x plus a negative x equals what? 3
X?
plus negative 3 equals
I'm sorry, I'm not sure.
what is it? Okay, so let's look at this. We start at 0. So this one says go to the right 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. That's that. So it's positive 3. This one's negative 3. Negative goes that way. 1, 2, 3.
So it would just be 0.
Right. Whenever you have opposites of each other, 5 plus negative 5 plus 5, 0. X plus negative x, 0.
Right, because you could think of it as like canceling it out.
Exactly. That's exactly what it's called. So if you have the same numbers, different signs, it becomes 0. That's with addition. With multiplication, anything times 0 is 0. Okay. Another one. X plus 0 is
0. For X. Oh, because it's not a negative.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, it's
That'd
not
be
negative. 3 plus 0 is
3.
3. So anything plus 0 is always the same thing. Anything times 1 is equal to itself. So 5 times 1 is equal to 5. This is called the inverse property. And this is called the unity property. Because the unity property, nothing changes. If you add to 0 something, it doesn't change. If you multiply by 1, it doesn't change. The inverse property, to get rid of something, you have to add the opposite of it or multiply it by 0. Okay, now you're asking, so what's important about that? Remember this one. Mathematically, show me the process of what your answer is going to be. Get x by itself. If you want to get x by itself, what do you have to get rid of?
The 4?
Yeah. So this property helps us get rid of something. How do you get rid of the 4?
Minus 4.
You have to subtract 4. Whatever you do to one side, think of a seesaw. If I put a -4 here, I got to put a -4 here to keep balance. Those disappear. 9 minus 4 is 5. All right, let's try another one. How about that one?
+3.
Yeah, it's
Equals
just the
10.
opposite. So we add 3 to both sides.
X equals 10.
Yeah, so x is equals 10. So that's why we learn the unity and identity inverse properties, is to solve things. It's a process. When you're solving something, it's a process of opposites. Let's see if you get that.
But did you have to divide?
Yeah,
Because-
yes,
Okay.
because that's multiplied. So we do the opposite, which is divide. Divide by what?
2.
Yep, divide both sides by 2.
3 x equals 5.
There's your answer. So far, so good?
Yes.
All right. Now, let's define addition and subtraction. The process of it, I should say. If the signs are the same, then take the common sign and add the numbers. If the signs are the same, because now we're looking at numbers that have different signs. Three plus 5. Whenever you deal with signs, sign numbers, always look at the signs first. So they're both positive, so the answer is going to be positive. 3 plus 5 is 8. -4 minus 3. What's the answer going to be?
Oh, wouldn't it be -1?
Eh.
Or 1?
Okay, look at this. If are the signs the same?
Oh, yes.
So they're the same. Use the common sign, and then add the numbers. 4 plus 3 is
7.
so. Yeah, so that's how you do addition. Subtraction. If the signs are different, then take the sign of the larger number and subtract the numbers. If the signs are different, take the sign of the larger number and subtract the difference. Let's see what that means. Remember, always look at the signs first. Is the answer going to be positive or negative?
Negative.
It's going to be what?
Negative.
Why?
Because there's a minus there.
No.
Oh, it would be positive?
Yeah, if the signs are different, take the sign of the larger. That one's positive. 7's bigger than 2. So the answer is going to be positive. Then 7 minus 2 is 5. How about that one? Is the answer going to be positive or negative?
Positive.
Okay, positive what?
6.
Yeah, 9 minus 3. Answer is positive 6. How about that one?
And that's going to be negative
To be negative? Negative what?
5.
Very good.
Positive? Or
All right.
not?
Which number is bigger?
7.
What's its sign?
Negative.
All right, so the answer is be negative. 7 minus 2 is 5. So we just look at the numbers. Since 8's bigger than 3, I look at that sign. 7's bigger than 2, I look at that sign. If there's nothing there, it's positive. 3 and 9, 9's bigger, so that's how you do it. You don't need calculators to do all this stuff. Now when you multiply and divide, signed numbers, this is the rule. If you have an odd number of negative signs, your answer will be negative. If you have an odd number of negative signs, your answer is going to be negative. If you have an even number of negative signs, your answer will be positive. So the only hard part about that is, what's an odd number?
Would an odd numbers be like 3, 5?
Yeah, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. And those. So if I gave you, just tell me whether the answer is odd or even. Is the answer going to be odd or even? Positive or negative? I'm sorry.
Negative?
Yeah. So there's 1, 2, 3. So we know the answer is going to be negative. We don't have to worry about the signs anymore. We know the answer is negative. Just multiply the numbers. Is the answer going to be positive or negative?
Negative.
Yeah, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we don't have to worry about the signs anymore. Just go ahead and divide. This is the hardest part. People try to figure this stuff out. -4 times 3 is -12, -12. Now, figure out first if the answer is going to be positive or negative, and just do the numbers. Do it in 2 steps. So far, so good?
Yes.
Okay. Oops, we need more paper. All right. You're okay with adding, subtracting, and multiplying and dividing?
Yeah, yes, I'm fine. Sorry, I just I get kind of nervous when doing math around other people. So
Oh no, trust me.
if I
No.
sound hesitant, that's the reason why. But I've been taking math in about 2 years, so I was kind of waiting to have this class in person, but then with everything that happened, I just decided to take it. So, but yeah, I understand it.
Okay.
And the videos on Mathway were good for refresher as well.
Okay, good. Yeah, and the ones I'm gonna put out there will hopefully fill in all the other blanks. All right, so you're okay with adding, subtracting, and multiplying and dividing. Let's test your idea of dividing. Ooh. You said you're okay with addition and subtraction, right?
Yes. Oh, fractions.
Yeah, I never specified which ones I meant.
Oh no. I don't like fractions.
Yeah, okay, yeah, so fractions are what give people the most trouble. And that's what I want to spend today talking about also, is it's not as hard as it looks. I'll show you. This is called the butterfly method. If you have addition of fractions, let's draw a butterfly. Okay? That kind of looks like a butterfly. So on this wing here, multiply these. 2 times 5 is?
10.
And this one, 3 times
Yeah.
1.
3.
So it's 10, whatever this sign, that goes on top. On the bottom, multiply these two.
15.
3 times 5 is 15. So 10 plus 3 is 13 over 15. And there you go. What do you think so far?
I do have a question. Why are there 2 numbers on top but only 1 on the bottom? Like it's I know that there has to be a common denominator. I do know
That's
that.
exactly right. Whenever you add and subtract, you have to have a common denominator. So what this really looks like is 10 over 15 plus 3 over 15.
All right,
Since you
so
have a common denominator, you just worry about the top.
and the bottom will stay the same.
Yeah, and it's 15. We just skip this middle step.
Okay, I was just wondering.
No,
I didn't know
that was I never thought about that. That's a very good question. I should have said, oh, because it is. No, it's because whenever you have addition fraction, you have to get a common denominator. We convert. In other words, take 3, multiply by 5, you get 15. Take 5, multiply by 3, you get that. But this does it all for you. The butterfly does it all for you. Yeah, try that. Try that.
So do the butterfly effect.
Yep. Anytime you add, subtract, you do the butterfly.
So 5 times 2 would be 10. 7 times 4 be 28, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yes.
And then you put those 2 on top. 10 minus And then the 7 times 2
is
I don't remember. I have no idea why. 14.
very good. Yes.
Sorry.
No. We're gonna knock it out of your head to your so it spits out. And it's in there. Everything's in there. So what's your final answer?
So it would be 18 over 14? Or would it be a negative?
Yeah, because 28 is bigger than 10.
It should be negative 8. Over.
Can you go any further?
Probably.
Yeah, otherwise I wouldn't ask. So let's see. What is 18 made up of?
3?
3 times what?
5?
3 times 5, 15.
Oh, I'm sorry, 6.
Yeah, 3 times
Right
6.
off.
And 6 is made up of
3.
times
3. Oh, no. 2.
2. Yeah, so the top is made up of 3 times 3 times 2. It's a negative. 14 is made up of what?
3 as well.
No.
2?
2 times
7?
Yep, 2 times 7. Well, we know it's divisible by 2 because the last number is even. If the last number is even, then it's automatically divisible by 2. And I'll show you a rule about 3 in a minute. Okay, can anything cancel here?
The 2 3s.
Nope, that's on the same side.
Oh, the 2 2s.
The 2 2s. So we're left with
6 out of 7.
3 times 3 is
9. Forgot it was multiplication.
9 over 7. Negative 9 over 7 is an improper fraction. Because the top number is bigger than the bottom. Whenever you have an improper fraction, you have to convert it to a mixed number. Okay, we know the answer is negative. How many times does 7 go into 9?
Once.
Once.
With
With how many left over?
2.
Yeah, and the 7 goes on the bottom. And there you have it. So 7 goes to 9 once, you have 2 left over, and there's your mixed number. You have a whole number and a fraction. And that's also why in a fraction, if you ever have a sign in front of a fraction and you have to combine it, it always goes to the top number. Because the bottom number is a common number, so it never has a sign. Okay, how about this? Two-sevenths. Work that one out.
So we're gonna do the butterfly effect, or would
How
that?
would you do butterfly?
I was just wondering because of the fraction thing.
It's
But
fraction.
I know that you'd put that sign with the 2,
Nope.
right? 'Cause you said that.
Is it a fraction? Is it a subtraction problem or addition problem?
Oh, subtractions?
Nope.
I mean, I see
I put the
parentheses like,
parentheses around it.
oh, so it would be multiplication.
It'd be multiplication.
So 3 times 2, and then 5 times 7.
So you're saying, what's your answer?
6 over 35.
You saying that's your answer?
I mean, I could simplify that even
What happened
more.
to the negative sign?
Oh, I said that to put the negative on top.
Okay, yeah, you said, yeah. Okay, so it's negative 6 over 5. You have to be
Right,
very,
because you said that earlier to put it on top of the top number.
right, yes. What would you do here?
Well, it's a subtract this time around, isn't it?
Why?
Because the subtract sign is outside of the.
Yes, yes, perfect, exactly. Yeah, so this is parenthesis doesn't mean anything. There's just nothing in there. It's a subtraction problem. So we'll use the
3
butterfly.
3 times. Be 21 and 10. And then you put that on the top. And then 35 would be on the bottom.
Perfect.
Be 11 to 35.
Excellent. Okay, so you're getting better with fractions. How about this? So what do you think you have to do here? 3 over 5 divided by 12 over 15.
I'm not really sure. I would say to divide 3 divided by 12, but I'm not sure if that would be the.
Ah, very good. Yes. So whenever you have this, a complex fraction, leave the first fraction alone. Change the sign to multiplication and flip the second number. Very good. From 12 over 15 becomes 15 over 12. And so now you do what?
The butterfly effect would multiply. Is that just with addition?
It only works
Addition.
with there, addition and subtraction.
So it'd be 3 times 15.
Okay, here's another rule. When multiplying fractions, always, kind of stressing that, reduce first. then multiply. And I'll show you why in a second. Okay, if you're going to do 3 times 15, what would that equal?
315.
No.
3 times 1 is 3. 3 times. I'm not sure.
So it's so it's 15 times 3. 3 times 5 is 15. Carry the 1. 3 times 1 is 3. It's 45. Then 5 times 12.
60.
5 times 2 is 10. Carry the 1. 5 times 1 is 5. Plus 1 is 6. So far, so good?
Yes.
Yeah, we just have to work on the multiplication, which is not a problem. It's just, you've done it before. You just have to remember it now because you've been using calculators most of your life. True.
I guess so.
Yeah. So no, which I mean, take however time you much you need to multiply these things. Now, are you done?
No, you have to reduce it. I mean,
See,
simplify it because
now you have
it's
to simplify, but that's too much work. That's too much work. You'll get the right answer hopefully, but would it be easier to reduce here first? Can anything on top cancel with anything on the bottom? Let's see.
12.
What is 15 made up of?
5.
5 times.
3.
Right. What's 12 made up of?
3 times 4.
3 times 4. Perfect. Okay. So can anything on top? These numbers are gone now. Can anything on top cancel with anything on the bottom?
And they're both, there's 2 3s.
Yeah,
So
there's that 3's gone. That 3's gone. You can only cancel one of them.
And
What else?
The 5.
The 5's. This one's gone. That one's gone. So what do you have left?
34.
That's the answer.
Right, it does make it a lot easier.
Yeah, yeah, because the numbers are small here. They're easy to see what they're made up. But this one, you'd have to go, okay, 45 is 9 times 5. 9 is 3 times 3, and blah, blah, blah. So, but this way is a lot much easier. Ooh, let me, I have one I written earlier for my other student. Here it is. Don't be afraid, but follow the same rules I just said.
That's a lot.
Okay, I'll stop there. It's a lot, but remember, since they're all multiplied together, it's one big dividing line. They're all together. All you have to do is break down the numbers and start canceling.
So 12 would be 3 and 4.
Okay.
And then 5 would be 3 and 5. And then 6 would be 2 and 3. 14. 2 and 7.
Yep, 2 and 7. Very good.
5
is it.
6, 2 and 3. 2 and 2.
Yeah. Those are all prime numbers.
So the 3s can be canceled.
That 1, 3 there, 1, 3 there.
The 2s can be canceled as well.
2 and 2.
I think that's it.
Nope. Keep on looking at the rest of the numbers. Anything on top, anything on the bottom.
Oh, the 7 can be canceled.
The 7s can be canceled. Very good.
The 3 can be canceled.
There's another 3.
The 5 can be canceled. I think that's it.
Are you sure?
I mean, there's a 4 and a 2 left, but
On top?
there's no 4 on the top though. It's just 3 and 1.
Okay, there's a 4 there. So we on top we have 4 times 3. On the bottom we have 2, 2, 2, 3.
What about the 1? The 1 just
Yeah, one's always there. Okay, so
and the 3
the
cancel.
3s can cancel now. What else?
Could you get 2 2s out of the 4?
Exactly. Yeah.
Cancel those 2s out.
That 2, that 2, that 2, that 2. So what are you left with? Well, actually, 1. I'm missing a 2 on the bottom because there's a 2 there. These 2, there should be 4 2s on the bottom.
That's a lot of breaking down.
Exactly. And think about the way you were going to do it. 12 times 6 times 5 times 3 times 7. It's going to be huge numbers. So you do it this way, they're all a lot smaller. All you have to do is just look at them. So it's a lot smaller. So yeah, so whenever you have fractions and you're multiplying them, reduce first and then multiply.
Right, that makes sense.
So there, that pretty much covers most of the first chapter. Or you have anything special in the specific in the first chapter?
To ask, like if I have any questions?
Yeah.
No. All I would do is just ask more about the book itself. So like, is the book itself connected to Mathway? I was a little confused by that. Like the assignments. Like if everything I read on the book, is it gonna help me?
It should be, because pretty much the assignments you get online should be the same that are in the back of each section.
Right, because I've been I've been doing the Mathway assignments without the book, and I've been fine.
Yeah, perfect.
I've been, in the back of my head, I've been wondering. I'm like, okay, obviously he's given us a book. I know I need to read this book.
Actually, to be honest with you, I've been teaching since 1988, and pretty much if you listen to the lecture and take notes, the book really isn't that necessary.
Right. I was thinking of that because in the lectures it talks about everything, and I've been writing notes just from the lectures and
exactly
using that in terms of answering the questions.
That's exactly a lecture is supposed to take the place of the book. We're supposed to take what's in the book and fill in all the spaces with explanations, and that way you can ask questions. Exactly.
Right. Okay.
So
that was the only part I was just confused on, is the book aspect of it. But I'm glad that I was able to talk to you about this, because it did really help. And that was one of the things that was really like kind of a bummer whenever you had scheduled the Zoom meeting on that particular day and I couldn't hear anything. It was really a bummer, because that was that was helpful. So this was very helpful for me to have that interaction.
I think it'll be better if we do it this way. So that way, if you have specific questions, then we can go over whatever section you want to go over, and you can ask all the questions, and you don't have to worry about being embarrassed or anything.
Right. Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I was a little confused on was the fractions, but you already helped me with that. So, yeah, but everything else I do already understand.
Excellent. Yeah, because fractions are the kiss of death. Everybody hates those.
Yeah, I understand they could be kind of confusing.
But I mean, what we just went through, those are all the rules. Well, also, I've got to tell you one more thing about fractions.
Oh, I do have a question. So you said that you record the lectures and send them to us. Do you send them to us on Blackboard or like what?
Are we done? Any more questions? Because I'm gonna stop recording so all this stuff is not recorded.
Yes, I'm done. The only question I had was just about where to find this, because you said that you were gonna record it and send it to me.